Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night, the Strange New Worlds podcast where your personal logs are the prime directive. Well, tonight we don't have any of your personal logs, but we do have the premiere, finally, of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. But joining me, of course, as always, are my co-hosts. The man who definitely didn't just wake up for this, Jesse Bailey.
It is not my fault that you guys decided to record at the crack of noon-ish on a Saturday, but I am dedicated and thus am here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the man who put on a tie just to talk about, well, Star Trek, because he always does, because he is Dapper Cameron Greenshirt Harrison.
Dapper Cam. That's new. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, it's premiere day at Tribeca Film Festival. Episode 1, I think just episode 1 of Strange New World Season 3 is being screened tonight, or was just finished screening. And we actually are recording this on premiere day. This isn't something we recorded way in the past, just about 7 hours in the past. So for those of you who got to see it, it's pretty awesome. What do you guys think? We want to start with our 2-word reviews, Cam?
Yeah, it's been 2 years, so let's boil all of those thoughts and emotions and feelings and angsts down into 2 single words. And then after that, then we'll do our 24 word for 24 months, and then 96 word. Anyway, sure. My 2-word. I'll start. Worth it.
Yeah.
2 years, worth it, guys.
Yeah.
That's a high bar.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with that. There were so many feelings when we got the screeners. I was like, do I watch all of these right now? Do I wait? Do I only watch the first one? Like, what do I do? Because it's like getting a limited Christmas gift that you can run out of. I was like, do I open it all at once or do I wait? But, worth it, I think, is absolutely a good way to put it.
So I agree. Is your 2-word review?
No, my 2-word review is hot damn.
Nice.
Yep. That absolutely applies too. I remember the first time seeing this several times, exclaiming out loud, like, wow, this is, it's a great episode. It's a great start to a season.
Yeah, we spoke before about how, I spoke about how I think Such Sweet Sorrow from Discovery might be one of my favorite Star Trek 2-parters ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that holds true. But I think Hegemony might be at the top of my list now.
Oh, man.
Hegemony Part 2 is very well done. It doesn't feel like it was written in the old style of, we'll just write ourselves into a corner and then figure it out later. It feels like they wrote a whole episode and cut it in half.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that dovetails nicely into my 2-word and a number review. Worthy Part 2 is my 2-word and a number review for this episode, because it is like, I'm hoping everybody who just saw it at the screener and everybody who gets to see it in about a month thinks the same thing.
Yeah, I know most of you watching and listening to this won't be able to watch it for a month, and I am so sorry, but again, it's going to be worth the wait. Trust me.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed. Let me ask you guys this, because, we talked about other part twos and everything. And, of course, there are some classic Star Trek cliffhangers and part twos and two-parters, and we've talked about them. I feel like with much of the TNG, there's always a really good part one, because as you say, like, they just write themselves into a corner and don't give a shit. And then they get to the second part and like, oh, we don't know what to do, so let's kind of just throw something at the wall. And I feel like almost, maybe with the exception of one, like the second part drops off. Best of Both Worlds is a great two-parter, but I feel like the second part's a bit of a disappointment after the first part.
It's because that first part is so insanely
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
But I also feel like two didn't quite pick up a lot of the threads one put down.
Right.
Like they just weren't interested in it. I feel like Hegemony, I loved part one. I mean, we talked about it. I remember I exclaimed no notes at the end of our first viewing.
Mm-hmm.
I think part two's better. I think they leveled up here, and that's what a good two-parter should do.
Yes, I think level up is a good way to put it, because you know, like having two seasons behind us, we know what this show is good at,
Mhm.
right? We know where its strengths are. We know what kind of things we can expect as far as like intensity and drama and humor and all those things. And this really plays with your expectations. Like there is, like, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get the second half of that story.
Yeah, there's no
right?
big surprises in like the plot, or at least the setup. We're not like jumping back in time or
Right.
something right at the
Right.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it picks up exactly where the last episode left off.
And if you've seen the teasers, I mean, you know how this episode starts. You've all seen 8% of this episode.
Right, that cold open. But I was still very surprised by a lot of what I saw in this episode. I was like, are they doing this? Are they doing that? Do they dare do that to me personally? And I was, the entire time, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to watch this twice immediately, because I got to text Cameron and John and send them a bunch of swear words and like, you know, I was just superlatives. Like the chat was full. Okay.
We may do
I was really impressed, because like I said, I kind of thought I knew what to expect as far as like, well, here's probably how this will go. And I wasn't incorrect about all that, but the style of everything and the commitment to everything they decided to do, the intensity of it does not drop off from the first episode. In fact, it actually goes up.
Nonstop was my backup 2-word review in case somebody said something similar, because it is nonstop. I mean, okay, let's just say this. You have a month now from hearing this. Rewatch part one. Like, it's not absolutely necessary, but man, if it's been 2 years since you've seen part one, rewatch part one. Just put yourself back in the position where everybody, make sure you remember where everybody is before this episode starts. Because there's a previously on, but it drops right into it. And there's a lot that happens to every character, and you just need to, you got to be familiar with where they're at. It helps.
If I may, you've got a month. Rewatch the last two seasons. Because they bring in stuff from the last two seasons in very smart ways, emotional ways too.
Yep.
Like you want that fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
I'll also say you may hear a dramatic reading of those text messages when we do our full recap review after this episode drops. So
yes. Yeah.
Be sure to look for that in a month.
Yeah. And in a month, if you have not called in to Open Pike Night and you want to talk about Strange New Worlds, call in. Send us your messages. Openpike.com or just openpike.com to record. You can just do it right on your phone, talk right into your mic. Try not to do it while you're driving, operating heavy machinery, or on any kind of medication. And we'd
being mauled by gorillas. Might not be the best audio.
I'm actually going to put a caveat there. Like if you're on that dentist medicine where like you don't recognize reality, please call into Open Pike Night.
Please. We won't say your name.
I would love to hear a call that's I want to hear one that's about an episode that never happened.
Yes. We'll call that episode Open Wide Night.
Yes. Oh man.
Very nice. That's good, Cameron. We have to get into to top pun form if we're going to be doing a whole season of coverage.
It's been 2 years since we've done
New
this. We got to
Worlds.
definitely knock some rust off the pun muscles there. But
speaking of which, stay tuned for the end of this review to hear some upcoming exciting news about what we have planned for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, we can confirm at this point, we did get the screeners. We are still on the list.
Yep.
We have seen the first 5 episodes of this season. We're not going to talk about all 5 of those episodes here. This is just kind of a primer and a hype exercise for the first episode and kind of the season as a whole without specifics. But yes, there will be so much for you to enjoy from Open Pike Night this season. And we really think this is the place where you might enjoy watching the season the most, especially if you don't have those real life friends who are also watching with you. I know as Star Trek fans, it can be hard to find other Star Trek fans in real life because, you know, what if you say, hey, do you watch Star Trek? And somebody goes, no. You're now like categorized in their head, right? Like, overzealous Star Trek nerd guy. Which I'm happy to be, but it does create a dynamic in real life.
And to build off that, Jesse, as a Strange New Worlds podcast, we do need to talk about it. We have seen more than half of all of Strange New Worlds, having seen these first 5 episodes. We did just get the announcement that season 5 will be the final and a truncated 6-episode season. So we have 46 episodes for this show. And man, feels weird. Feels weird.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially to know so far ahead of time, right? Because
it's a 2027 problem for most of us.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. I think that's helping me, right? Like, usually when a show gets canceled or not continued on most streaming platforms now, you find that out, you know, in the middle of enjoying it, or you find that out at a time that's not super convenient. Like a freaking Cowboy Bebop was canceled like before it was done airing all its episodes, if you sat down to watch it on a particular day, right?
Which really made watching that last episode very rough.
Yeah.
Because they were not planning that to be the last episode.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, at least now, like, we know none of season 5 has been filmed, right? So they're going to have a chance to give themselves a proper send-off. This is not going to be a Star Trek Discovery situation where they're like, oh, you know, let's shoot some extra stuff and tack it to the end of this episode, which I'm glad they got the opportunity to do, but you could absolutely see the seams of that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to temper my disappointment, right? So I've been looking online a lot, chatting with folks on social media, finding out how other people are feeling about this, trying to, you know, kind of be a grown-up about it. That's not what I'm known for here, but it's like, it probably would help me to help to filter my feelings through other people's views. And one point that I've seen brought up a couple times that I think is really helpful is think about all the other streaming shows that you like that are part of an established IP. Cameron, how many seasons did the Dark Crystal series get? How many seasons? How many seasons did Willow get? Like,
that'd be one for good reason.
Yeah. So Sabrina reboot got, I think, 1 season. Like, there's my point. Okay. So like all the Star Wars shows, right? None of those have had 5 seasons. Like, there's 1 season and canceled, or 2 seasons and that's the whole story, or 1 season with maybe another one coming up, right? Like, The Mandalorian is obviously the most successful there, and it's got a movie coming, but it doesn't have another season coming. There's so many IP-based streaming shows that never get close to 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, part and parcel of how streaming works, but it's also, I think, a good reason to look at Star Trek and be like, I mean, they're all getting 5 seasons, right?
Yeah.
I mean, except Picard, which is a little different because that's based on what does Patrick Stewart feel like doing. And even at the end of 3, he was like, oh, you know, maybe one more, maybe a movie, because I'm sure he enjoyed being back in the spotlight. And it was, you know, it was an all right series.
I just kind of hope that
But-
Strange New Worlds would put us over 1,000 episodes, you know? I
I think we're over 1,000
Are we?
episodes, but
thought we were still in
In
the
Star Trek
900s.
if
total?
not, we're very close.
Yeah.
I see.
But it's the thing I think for me that hurts the most, you know, having had some time to sit with it, is the truncated nature of the 5th season, like you were saying, John. Like,
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, if it's actually a money thing, then give them the money now. Like,
Now, if they're 6
You know,
2-hour
just-
long episodes, okay.
I was gonna
That's
say.
understand. Yeah.
We might
Right.
be getting 6 mini movies with that.
Sure.
We don't know. So
Yeah.
my fingers are crossed. Yeah, I mean, I felt very bittersweet. You know, I saw, renewed for a 5th season. Great. We were all hoping. There it is. Oh, it's the final season. Well, we were all kind of expecting 5 seasons for this. We knew like they could kind of shift some stuff, but also, but Strange New Worlds, by the nature of what it is and what we know about these characters and what follows, wasn't going to be.
It has to
like
end,
a 9
yeah.
year. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was coming soon. Yeah, seeing the 6 seasons was like, But my feeling with that is, you know, it wasn't profitable for them to make a 5th season, but they were like, look, you've done a great job. It's profitable enough. We'll give you a 6th season so you can wrap things up nicely and not leave things hanging. Like, I think we should be thankful that we're getting those, and I'm sure they will make great use of them.
right. And that's kind of helping me too, is like, they know ahead of time they're going to spend every penny they have in that production budget. They're going to know, I mean, with 4 seasons behind them, they're going to know what people want to see as far as conclusions, what people want to see as far as what's left open.
Mhm.
I feel like maybe there's a chance now that we don't get that rushed, like, piling on of the remaining TOS characters that
Mhm.
we've always kind of half expected / half been afraid of, right? Because if all those characters come on, that pushes out some of our other favorite characters, you know, just kind of by design. So yeah, I am in the same spot where I'm grateful. I do keep reminding myself this is a 2027 problem.
Yeah.
Like,
6 episodes
It's not-
of Kirk
it's not
leading a
over right
mutiny
now.
against Pike. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
that's now he's the captain. Starfleet just
Sulu and
accepted it.
Ortegas battling to the death
Yes.
with swords.
yeah.
I mean,
And
I
it's
thought
not
I'll watch
over-
that. Okay, yeah.
It's not over right now.
Yeah.
And most folks have more Strange New Worlds ahead of them than they do behind.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
Like,
And
we happen to be right at that edge case with the screeners, but like,
Now, to two of your
there are still 2.5 seasons coming up.
Yeah.
to two of your points, Jesse. I mean, with what they have coming up, this season 3, I always want to say pilot. It's not the premiere. You know, this is the first episode we see that the writers wrote, that the filmmakers made after season 1 had started airing. So I do feel watching this, you can sort of feel some of that audience input. And if not that, then you can feel the creators like seeing the fruits of their labor and seeing what works. And there's a confidence here in this episode and
Yes,
in the rest of what we've seen that even we didn't have in season 2, I don't think, which we said you could see the confidence coming through. Like they knew what they had when they made this. And you can tell we get more Jenna Mitchell, and I feel that might be some audience input there.
Yep.
We get more Sam Kirk. I mean, that was kind of built into the plot with him being stuck on the Gorn ship, but there are some great Sam Kirk moments, let me tell you, as a Sam
Oh, yeah.
Kirk stan. And we're not going to talk about Ortegas, but you get some great Ortega stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
And it leaves me hopeful that the more Ortegas we've heard about, we will be paid off.
I
And you
feel
know,
like it.
like, not to be that guy, but it does create an opportunity for us here at Open Pike Night to really kind of, you know, strap ourselves down and bring you the best Strange New
I thought you were
Worlds
gonna say
coverage.
lock ourselves to the doors of the studios, so they have to let us in.
I'm sure that bulldozer would just keep on driving, John. But we can really focus on how best to bring you the best coverage that we can for Strange New Worlds, because now we know how much time we have. We know how many, you know, episodes there are going to
Yep.
be to review,
Yep.
and we can start building out from there. The other thing it does is it creates an opportunity for me to wrangle John and Cameron into a new podcast once Strange New Worlds is over. Because what? Come on, guys, we can't just stop,
No.
right?
No.
We can't just stop. But I think we will have a good opportunity once the series does end again in 2.5 years from now. Like, there's time, okay? but it will create an opportunity for a show like ours to kind of do a post-mortem, right? Like, we're going to probably be able to talk to folks that made this show after they're done making this show.
Yeah.
So just because Strange New Worlds airs its last episode doesn't mean Open Pike Night suddenly goes away. Like, even if it should mean that, it wouldn't.
It's a great
We're not
title.
that kind
so
of
we'll become a
podcast.
fishing podcast after this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard left turn.
We got to do something.
But until then, until another month of premiere, we do have some stuff in the works. Cam, you want to tell them a little bit about what to expect for
Guys,
this season of Strange New Worlds?
I'm not done talking about this episode,
All
guys.
right,
This episode's so good. You want to know what to expect with this episode? Again, there's not a ton of surprises from what you think you're going to get. It is Hegemony Part 2, which is Strange New Worlds doing what it does best, taking these characters, putting them into a classic sci-fi action-adventure setting. We're getting that type of story. We're not getting the big genre plays we see in other episodes. But what Strange New Worlds does so well is it takes those action tropes and it filters them through the characters. So you get such great, beautiful character moments while we're going pew-pew against space aliens. And you've all seen it. If you've watched the teaser, that's basically the cold open of this episode. You see Pike going around saying, okay,
Options,
we're between a Gordon and a hard place options. And you see him go through and decide, and everyone offering what they offer tells you something about their characters. How he reacts to them tells you something about his character. And you see that in scene after scene after scene. It's so good. And you get all this space pew-pew. You get, what were you talking about earlier?
You get a lot of
Jesse
emotions.
kind of alluded to
you
it.
get a ton of emotions in this episode.
That's what I'm leading to. It all builds up. And there's moments in this. We've seen the trailers. We kind of know what to expect from the rest of the season. We know they're filming season 4. We know mostly who's filming season 4. There are moments in this episode you go, do I know what I think I know? What's going to happen? Yeah. And that sets you up for some emotional payoffs at the end of this season, this episode. That had me in tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was exhausted at the end of this episode. I was literally going back and looking at other I paused episode 1 of season 3, went and looked at trailers from season 3. I was like, okay, no, yeah, okay, all right. I thought I saw that in that trailer, but okay, just wanted to confirm that. And I was blown away at the emotional response and the dramatic tension that they were able to get out of me as somebody who has seen a lot of Star Trek and kind of has a good idea of what to expect from Star Trek. I was still like, am I completely wrong? Is everything I know wrong?
Yeah.
What is happening? And again, it felt very personal, which to your point earlier, Cam, I know that most of the writers that we have talked to have given us some version of we write what the best story is, right? We don't write based on fan interaction. We don't try to cater to fans, because once you do that, you're losing your own voice and this, that, and the other thing. And I think that remains true here. But to your other point of them having some feedback now, I think they are able to use that against us. They know what people want and what people expect.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's throw some of that in there. This is really going to help us crank on these characters these storylines. It was... bravo again. Yeah. I was very impressed with this first episode.
There's some sadism in that writer's room for sure.
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
Just enough. Just the right amount.
Which you as a listener probably know, because Open Pike Night interviews all kinds of writers from Strange New Worlds.
Akiva, hurt me. That's all right.
Yeah, we've had the showrunners on. We know how this writer room functions. Basically, we've never been there, but we feel like we've been there. We've spoken with these folks.
Speaking of which, again, it's just doing everything we've come to love with Strange New Worlds. Even though they're not doing the big genre swings we know are coming this season, even in these kind of just classic Star Trek sci-fi action adventure stories, you can see their influences, much like we saw. Oh, yeah. But pushed through the Star Trek lens. That's why I'm okay with it. I can see why some people might bump on it when it's a little too alien or a little too Hunt for Red October or Wrath of Khan. But I love it when they take these, even Wrath of Khan, and let's put the Strange New Worlds filter on it. Let's look at it through that. And you see a lot of that in this episode in a way that just really tickles me and makes me happy.
And it's a good reminder. I understand, completely understand hating corporations and being upset with production decisions. I completely understand that. But I think this is a good reminder. Being able to see these influences is a really good reminder that the show is made by people.
Yeah,
by fans.
It's made by people
Yes.
who really care and, are fans of Star Trek and fans of sci-fi.
Mhm.
Like, go ahead, be bummed that we're not getting 10 seasons. But please remember, especially like, in your social media interactions, that there are people, real people making this show. They probably didn't decide, you know what, I don't want to have this job anymore. So use that to kind of temper your reactions here. Obviously, all of your feelings are completely valid, and I completely get it. But like, we don't need to be mad at anybody about this, I don't think. I think we're in a good spot. We know we're getting 5 seasons. We know that they're getting time to craft their final season. And yeah, like Cameron said, hey, maybe those last 5 episodes or 6 episodes will be the kind of episodes that if you're a crazy fan and really wanted to, you could edit into like a really long movie. I wouldn't be upset about that. Like, if they give us one plot in season 5 and it's 6 hours long, I'm absolutely going to put that into like a movie for my own personal use. Like, that would be really cool.
Strange New Worlds, the whole bloody affair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a film geek joke. Let's also talk a little bit about Scotty, who we saw, a fair amount of in Hegemony Part 1, but we're seeing more of what they plan to do with him, and I'm loving what they're doing with him. I mean, I got the sense after talking with Martin Quinn that, like, okay, this guy gets it. It sounds like the writers get it. Guys, he and the writers get it.
Yeah.
It is.
They get every character. There's not a single character in this first episode, in this premiere, that is served badly. You're not going to bump on any of them being like, oh, it's weird they would do that. No, These characters are developed. These characters are who they are, and they are true to themselves and the characters and the story in this episode. And that is part of what makes it such a worthy part too.
Yeah. Cameron mentioned our discussion with Martin Quinn, which I highly recommend you go check out back in the feed. But he talked about how this isn't the Scotty that we know, right? Like, it's the Scotty we know, but younger.
Yeah.
He's not quite so sure of himself as he is in the original series. And you hear that all the time with legacy prequels and sequels and things like that, where you're like, oh, it's a different take on this character. And it sort of is, but really it's the same character at a different time in his life. Yeah. And the way that he is nailing this is amazing, because I expected that to kind of be the company line, right? Like, just tell people it's younger Scotty and it's not who they really know. But it absolutely is that. Like, it feels in character with the Scotty that we do know, even though he's got a different attitude. You can see the pieces of what we love about that original character shining through, even if they're not fully developed. I agree with you completely, Cam. The writers, the actors, I mean, the production as a whole is absolutely firing on all cylinders right now. This is the sweet spot for Star Trek, right? So many times you hear, you gotta watch this Star Trek show, but it doesn't really hit its stride until end of season 2, maybe season 3, sometimes even longer than that. And I would disagree with that generally about Strange New Worlds. I feel like they kind of came out of the gates swinging. But there is still something about the practice of having written 2 full seasons of TV and going forward from there that just, it ups the ante. It absolutely does. I think having Scotty in the same room as Pelia, as we saw in season 2, amazing dynamic. Yeah. Like, so well played. And like, what a great illustration for the series as a whole. You've got this veteran actor with Carol Kane, and this absolute fresh-faced newcomer. Martin Quinn's been acting for a long time, but he hasn't been on a ton of North American television, right? Yeah. So this is a great opportunity to get to know Martin Quinn as an actor, and he's got an amazing mentor in both sides, acting
and we get to see what he learns. We get to see what Scotty doesn't know. We get to see all kinds of stuff. So it had to be said, guys. We've been talking about it for like 3 minutes. I was like, how do we work this in there? Thank you for Jesse.
Well done.
Whew. All right. Good podcast, guys.
All right. Well, Open Pike Night's over. We peaked too soon.
I will say, like, I'm going to add on to that. I think maybe this season is sort of a start of, with Cam's point too, this is the first episode made after fans saw the first season, and Jesse talking about, with the legacy characters coming in. I think this would be easily designatable like phase 2 of Strange New Worlds. Not in any like planned way, but it's like, yeah, there are a lot of things that changed with this season beyond, behind the scenes as well as on the page. And I think I can see that. And I think as we get further into the season, people will see, oh yeah, this feels very different from season 1, not in any bad ways, just more mature and more experienced and more lived in.
Yeah, to those points.
If the first,
I think what I wrote was, lots of Star Trek, like you just said, Jesse, they find their footing after 2 or 3 seasons. The same's here, except it had 2 really damn good feet beforehand.
Right.
So it found its footing on top of some amazingly, should I fit in another Tarantino reference? Tarantino loving foot fetish. I don't know. I'm going to end this metaphor now. It's getting out of control.
There we go.
I'll finish it
Please.
for you, Cameron. If the first 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds was the production finding its footing, season 3 is the start of them running straight up the side of a mountain.
There you go.
Like I was very impressed. I mean, you know me, I'm always impressed, but like I kind of started asking myself, like, how does it get better? Like, because it's already at such a high level. And Hegemony Part 2 absolutely answers that question.
Yep.
I was not expecting to come out of that episode like, I'm more excited than I have ever been for Strange New Worlds, because I say that at the start of every single season. But I think that's a sign of what a great show this is that you really do. Every time you see the first episode of a season of Strange New Worlds, you go, that's their best season opener yet. And that doesn't take away from the other season openers, because they're all very good. We are feasting with this show as Star Trek fans, and I'm very, very excited that there is more ahead of it than there is behind us. So I cannot wait for people to start watching season 3 of Strange New Worlds. I can't wait to start talking to people. I'm so excited for our next upcoming season of coverage here at Open Pike Night. You guys, thank you, John and Cameron, for continuing to give me the opportunity to gush, because I don't get to do this in my real life, right? Like, I'm not at work like, hey guys, how about that Star Trek, right?
Yeah, it's weird how our coworkers don't
having
just
a place
ask
to
us
do that
about Star
really
Trek
helps
all the time. It's lame.
Well, speaking of the gushing, I mean, this is a review, so let me put on my critic hat and give my one criticism of this episode, which is basically the best criticism you can give something, which is it was too short. I wanted more. We had some hour-plus long episodes last season, and this episode felt like it was maybe 5 to 8 minutes too short on some subplots. We talked about how like every character got something, and to the point where I feel like it set up a couple of characters, a couple of dynamics that didn't quite get paid off. Not in a way where I was missing it. Like I never bumped on it while watching it, but afterwards I was like, I thought something more was going to happen with that character or with that dynamic. So I would have liked another 5 minutes. I mean, but that just shows how good the rest of the 55 minutes were.
Yeah.
Well, and, character dynamics are the serialization of this show, right? Because the plots are more episodic. Yes, there are some connected plots and there's some overarching pieces, but the character dynamics provide the serialization. These are the way the relationships change and the way the characters interact with each other is the thing that we know will keep developing and, connect the episodes together as the season moves forward. And I think that absolutely holds true here. So all the little things you notice between characters in Hegemony Part 2, keep track of those.
Yeah. Yep. Don't think the plot lines from Hegemony Part 2 are closed up. That's all we can say about the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right. I'm done. I'm done now.
Okay.
Now are you ready, Cameron?
Yes. Wait. So I'll wait a month for the rest. I'll wait a month.
There. Yeah, exactly. We still have to talk about this episode again. So, yeah.
In fact, we already have with the writer, Davey Perez, in preparation for one of our series we have coming up. The one thing with our format is we don't get to drop our conversation about the episodes until 5 days after the episode airs. And, we do that because we want to hear from everyone and give everyone a chance to watch the episode and call in with their thoughts. So that's not changing. We will still have that. But on release day of each episode, we're going to drop an exclusive conversation with at least one, if not both, of the writers of all the episodes. Hopefully, I can't guarantee we'll get them all, but we've got a lot already.
Yep.
And you'll be able to hear, we'll dive deep into how they came up with the episode, the struggles with each one, what they were trying to accomplish, and fun little tidbits. We're calling it Open. Not Open. Strange New Words.
Thank you. I was like, it's not Open Pike, right?
I was like,
Damn, that would have been
like,
good
this is one of the things I didn't name, so I don't know what the name is.
Strange New Words, yes.
Strange New Words, yeah. So tune in. As soon as you watch the episode, you can come find us. We'll probably release those here on YouTube as well, so you can find them and watch us and the writers just
Absolutely
geek out about these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever possible, we're going to be giving you the video of those as well as the podcast audio of those. And Cameron, let's say hypothetically, there's somebody watching this video right now that's like, well, I don't have screeners and I didn't get to go to Tribeca and I got to wait for this premiere. Do we have anything that we could do to like help them keep their hype levels high between now and then?
Well, I mean, speaking of video and watching us talk to people, let's talk to one of the actors, maybe live.
Oh yeah,
like let people watch it live and give their questions right away and not have to send in a call.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I think that's a good idea.
Who should we talk to?
Do you guys think we should? I mean,
who do we talk to first?
The best option, I think, would be the patron saint of Open Pike Night.
You're not talking about,
which of course is Melissa Navia.
That's a good idea.
Our favorite pilot.
Great idea.
Yeah.
How about a week?
Incredibly excited.
A weekish from now?
Yeah.
June 22nd?
Yeah.
Why don't you come hang out? Have a Sunday night with us. Let's talk about Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we get to talk to Melissa Navia again. This is her third appearance with us, I think. It absolutely will not be her last. But when we met her at Star Trek Las Vegas 2 freaking years ago, we really kind of finally understood, like, this person gets it. She understands the gravity of being in Star Trek. She understands how the fans attach themselves to this property. And we think she's the perfect person to help usher in the 3rd season of Strange New Worlds for us, especially because, like we said, without her, Open Pike Night doesn't exist in the same form that it does right now. Yep. She was our first interview. She offered us a legitimacy that we could go then show to other managers, PR people, agents, and say, look, we're a real podcast, okay? Like, you should have your client come and hang out with us. And as you know, as a longtime Open Pike Night listener, that has borne fruit. So having Melissa Navia back to help us usher in this 3rd season is something we are so excited to bring to you. As Cameron said, next Sunday, if you're watching this video on the day it drops, June 22nd, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern, come hang out with us live on YouTube. Melissa will be here. You can chat live. We'll pick out questions from the chat. She'll be able to see them. She can answer them directly. And we can start revving up our engines of excitement for season 3. I mean, let's be honest. Those engines are pretty much topped out, but maybe we can shift into that next gear of excitement for season 3.
Can we just give it any more, Captain? That's my best, Scotty.
I've got a pretty good Scotty, but like respectfully, I think I should not share it because we want Martin Quinn to come back.
Yeah.
Don't outshine the sun.
All right. So next Sunday, June 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern, join us on YouTube for our live Q&A with Melissa Navia, Ortegas herself. Until then, be sure to clean up after yourselves. Be sure to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.